What's up guys, it is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Sanad, and welcome to another episode of the Movie Monday series created by Emily Boone. Please do check her channel out. She's a really awesome YouTuber and one I'm very proud to call my friend, my dear beloved friend. I'm going to add the link for her channel down below in the description box. And for this week's topic of the Movie Monday series, I'll be sharing with you guys and gals my top 5 anti-heroes in movies. I've done a past list last week on my top 5 heroes in movies / anime. My top 5 anti-heroes in movies / animes will be the exact same thing. I'm going to add 3 anti-heroes from number 5 to number 3, and the final 2 pick will obviously be from anime series which yours truly loves so much above all else. 2 anime series which has 2 amazing anti-heroes yours truly really loves. And anti-heroes don't live by the code or the principles of the traditional hero archetype. Heroes who normally would save the innocent, protect those who are in need, and do things the right way, the just way. These anti-heroes do things by their way, by their standards, and they aren't bound by any law, any order. They live by their own principle, and they define their fate the way they choose to. They decide their own fate, they write their own story, and whatever chapter comes after in their story, those chapters are written by them, and their stories will be defined by them. And just as the previous episodes in the Movie Monday series, I'm going to be ranking these movies / anime series based on a ranking system from number 5 to number 1, and here's how the list goes. At number 5 we have Rooney Mara as Lisbeth Salander in David Fincher's 2011 crime thriller The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is a remake of a 2009 Swedish film of the same name, which also stars Noomi Rapace as the same character, Lisbeth Salander. Though in my personal opinion and the opinion of the many, Rooney Mara is the best Lisbeth Salander because she is so authentic in her portrayal of Lisbeth Salander. Compared to Noomi Rapace, Rooney Mara is so authentic in her portrayal because her version of Lisbeth Salander is very raw, very intense, so fierce and so vicious in her portrayal, and she is so authentic to the character, which is based on the same character from a novel series. Noomi Rapace is a lot more restrained compared to Rooney Mara as Lisbeth Salander because once again she is very raw, very intense, very fierce and very vicious in her portrayal. Her version of Lisbeth Salander is more of a rebel, a fierce rebel, the kind of character yours truly relates to, because I myself, like Lisbeth Salander, am a rebel at heart, because we rebels don't live by the law, nor do we say yes like a bunch of these yes men and yes women, like always saying yes, yes, yes. We don't do that kind of shit because we live by our own principle, and we don't listen to others who don't know what we feel, who don't understand our pain, which is why many people, men and women, can relate to Lisbeth Salander, especially women, because Lisbeth Salander is a fighter at heart, and many women have come out and thanked Rooney Mara for her portrayal, her honest portrayal of Lisbeth Salander. And Rooney Mara did admit that Lisbeth Salander has connected with many people, especially women, and I'm very glad to add her on my list. At number 4 we have Oh Dae-soo from Park Chan-wook's 2003 crime thriller / revenge drama / black comedy Old Boy. I've talked about this movie in the past many times. It should be no surprise because Park Chan-wook's Old Boy is one of my all-time favorite films. I love this movie so much, and Oh Dae-soo is portrayed so well by Choi Min-sik. It's a really amazing portrayal of this character who's a broken down man, who was an absolute nothing, a train wreck of a man who was going to get divorced from his wife and is wanting to see his little girl on her birthday. That is before he got kidnapped and held hostage inside this building and was released over 10 years later. 10 years of captivity. He had no idea why he was captured to begin with. So he sets out for revenge against the man who held him captive for all those years to demand an answer as to why he held him captive, missing so many years of his daughter and her birthdays, the many birthdays she had celebrated without her beloved father close to her. And the biggest twist of this movie, guys, comes in the very end, and oh my god, my heart was shattered to bits. I was so broken and torn down, especially because of my feelings for Odae-soo, because Odae-soo is no saint. Odae-soo is actually a very flawed man, and his story ties into the main antagonist, that is Lee Woo-jin. And Lee Woo-jin is actually a very complex character, and his story is very emotional and very tragic, very much like Odae-soo. Park Chan-wook's Old Boy has remained one of my all-time favorite films because this movie has two very complex characters in Odae-soo and Lee Woo-jin, the so-called protagonist and antagonist. Even though these two men, these two former classmates and peers of the same school, have very shady past which makes their characters all the more complex, and their dilemma, their issues which ties in, their stories lead to a very tragic ending, an ending I found to be very powerful. It's that very ending that makes Old Boy such a great film, and one I do recommend you guys and gals watch. It's one of the all-time best revenge films, one you cannot miss before you die. At number 3 we have James Mangold's Logan. Logan, in this state of the movie, in this state of the timeline, in the X-Men universe, is a very broken down man, a man who is a former shell of himself, very much like Odae-soo. Logan's descent into darkness has to do with the loss of the X-Men, his beloved family and friends who were all taken from him because of one Charles Xavier, Professor X himself. It all has to do with one incident that happened between them and the X-Men. That incident and Charles Xavier's mistake in killing the X-Men unintentionally led Logan down a path of darkness and despair until one day he finds a little girl who very much shares his own DNA, his own genes, which essentially makes this little girl his daughter, and Logan tries to find it within himself, to find the good inside him, because Logan is still a good man. He has done so many bad things, but he has also done some good things alongside the X-Men. Logan has to come face to face with himself, which if you guys and gals have seen the film, you will know what I'm talking about. James Mangold's Logan is very much a dark odyssey for Logan and his journey to become either a beast or to become and die as a hero. The hero we have grown to love in the X-Men movies. There can be no better end for Logan, the Wolverine, than in James Mangold's Logan. I love this movie so much. It's without question one of my top 5 best films of 2017. In similar fashion to the past video of my top 5 heroes in movies / anime, we're transitioning from movies into anime series. With that being said, at my number 2 pick, we have Emiya Kuritsugu from the 2011 to the 2012 anime series, which is a prequel to a previous anime series known as Fate Stay Night, the prequel of which is Fate Zero, and Fate Zero is such an amazing anime series I love beyond words. This anime series has one of the best anti-heroes I've ever seen, that being Emiya Kuritsugu. Emiya Kuritsugu, who is the father of Emiya Shiro, the main protagonist of Fate Stay Night, and Emiya Kuritsugu, the father of Emiya Shiro, is a very dark character compared to his son. Both Emiya Kuritsugu and Emiya Shiro, father and son, have dreamt of becoming a hero who would save others and to essentially become a champion of justice, though Emiya Shiro is the one to fulfill their promise, the promise of father and son to become a hero and champion of justice, a champion for the people, which his father had failed to do, because Emiya Kuritsugu's actions, they are far from being a hero and more of a villain, even though his intentions are very good, because he wants to save the world, even if it meant sacrificing the few, because Emiya Kuritsugu has killed many people, whether good or bad. His actions don't count as heroic, but actions which he believed to be necessary, and at times he's actually correct, because Emiya Kiritsugu, unlike Emiya Shiro, which can be frustrating to watch through Fate Stay Night, does not do what is necessary. But Emiya Kiritsugu's actions do come back to bite him, and trust me guys and gals, it bites very hard, because his actions are very much the sins of his life. Those sins will live with him till the day he dies. In my personal opinion, Emiya Kiritsugu's journey is a very dark one, and his story is one of the most tragic I have ever seen in anime series or movies and television for that matter. Emiya Kiritsugu's journey is a very dark one, but one I found to be very fascinating, and one I personally can admire, because his journey, as dark as it may be, he does what is necessary, unlike many anime heroes, the quote-unquote anime heroes who aren't willing to do what is necessary for the greater good, which Emiya Kiritsugu actually does. Emiya Kiritsugu may be a very flawed man, a very sinful man who has committed so many sins, but his legacy will truly live on as he passes on his dream to his son, Emiya Shiro, who will truly live on by what his father had always dreamt to be, a hero and a champion of justice. And finally guys and gals, my number one pick is Guts, or Gutsu, from the anime series / manga Berserk. Berserk, for you guys and gals who don't know, Berserk is without question my absolute favorite anime series ever made. I love this story so much. The story, the characters, the action, everything about this story, from the themes to the ideas it presents. But this anime series would not be complete without the main protagonist, the best anti-hero in anime series, in my personal opinion, Gutsu. Gutsu, or Guts in the English translation, is such a great character I love so much. His backstory is truly a tragic one. It's not just tragic, but very heartbreaking, because think of any horrible things that could happen to you. It all happened to Guts at a very young age, but Guts, like many true heroes, many heroes who despite their actions and their sins, does not let fate decide how he lives or how he dies, because Guts' journey, like I mentioned before, is defined by his own hands. Guts has been told many times he is forever bound to his fate and is destined to die, but Guts challenges his fate. He challenges his fate and lives by his own law, his own principles. Of all the anti-heroes on this list, from Lisbeth Salander to Odesu to Logan to Emiya Kiritsugu, and then you have Guts, who's without question my absolute favorite in my top 5 list, my top 5 anti-heroes in movies / anime. Thank you guys and gals for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and once again, do check out the channel of Emily Boone. I'm going to add a link for her channel down below in the description box, and do check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming content, all that kind of good stuff. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.